Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan, and the topic of this 10-minute moan is Southport, and now the links with terror. Now before I start, the two things I want to talk about here. The first thing is, why are people surprised? Because I put out a video on the 1st of August after listening to the police the day before actually tell us that. They told us in the end of July. And then the second thing I want to talk about is what actually happened today and how crazy it is what they're actually telling us today. So first things first. On the last day of July, the Chief of Police that was looking after this investigation had a press conference. And at that press conference said a lot of things about the guy, and he was getting charged and going to court and whatever. And I'm just going to play the video again. Now, I made a video of this on the 1st of August, and I'm not a journalist. I'm just a guy, member of the public, that started making political videos about 10 months ago. I'm not a professional at this. I don't propose to be. But I heard the exact same words, excuse me, as a room full of journalists. And nobody wrote the story about the video, the news in the video that I did. So I'll let you watch the video. And if you've not seen the video I put out on the 1st of August, see if you pick up what the police chief constable said on the last day of July.
He has been remanded in custody to appear tomorrow, the Thursday, the 1st of August, at Liverpool Magistrates Court, Derby Square. Whilst these charges are a significant milestone within this investigation, this remains very much a live investigation, and we continue to work with our partners from Lancashire Police and Counter-Terrorism Policing North West.
So the last bit she said there, we have and we will continue to work with our counter-terrorist police in the North West. Now before that, we were told by the police, by the government and by the media, there was no terror links at all in this thing. That's what they told us. Then about a week, fortnight later, they told us this. After a fortnight of it, there's no terror link here whatsoever. They told us this. And I said at the time, and I'll put a link to the video, you can go back and watch it. I said at the time, if this had no terror links whatsoever, the anti-terror police would not still be continue to work with Greater Manchester Police. There would be no need. They could be away catching like terrorists and things like that. They wouldn't need to help with that. They would have had one look at it and went, nothing, no terror. We're away to do what we're paid to do. Okay? You guys can deal with murders, we'll deal with terror. So we'll bugger off. No. What the policewoman said was, and I'll just play that short clip again.
And we continue to work with our partners from Lancashire Police and Counter-Terrorism Policing North West. We
continue to work. That's just what, 2 weeks in. And I'm sitting there going, why is nobody pulling them up for that? I called it the 1st of August, nearly 3 months ago. I said, this is a lot of nonsense. This is definitely terror. There's something associated to terrorism here. Or these people simply wouldn't be continuing to work with Greater Manchester Police. Think about it, right? But as I said a minute ago, I'm not a journalist. I'm just a geezer, member of the public, that's been making YouTube videos on politics for about 10 months. And I watched the press conference that was from a room full of journalists who are paid to be journalists and look for stories. I don't know if they were able to ask questions at that press conference. I sure as hell know they heard the same as me. Yet nobody. They continued to think that there was no terrorism. Keir Starmer told us that. Everybody told us that. And let me tell you another strange thing about this sudden thing today about, there might be links to terror, but he's no charged with terror, and, because of the crime, but there'll be other terror charges. I'll come to that in a minute, right? But what I want to talk to you about is the timing, because it stinks, right? What's happened recently, on Friday, Tommy Robson and himself and was held in custody. Reported to a police station, held in custody, awaiting trial Monday. On Saturday, there was one of the biggest pro-UK rallies in London. On Monday, Tommy Robinson gets sentenced to 18 months in jail. And on Tuesday, this information comes out. Now, I'm not going to sit here and cast aspersions, but I think that was quite convenient. Because if that information had come out last week, the British public might have reacted quite differently to it. And I'm not saying that that's right. I'm just saying that that's factual. They may have behaved differently in the city centre of London if this news had come out. Because this is a British public that's been told, you're naughty for even suggesting that that's terror. I called it the 1st of August. I didn't get a tip off. I wasn't guessing. I was using these. And I was listening to what the police constable told us on the last day of July. It was so obvious. So now the police have decided that they're going to charge him with things that are linked to terrorism, but it's nothing to do with the murder. Right? You ever heard so much nonsense in your life? Because apparently you need motive, terrorism motive, to do what that guy done for it to be connected with terror. So the other terror things, I'll come to it, man. It's just basically for owning stuff that linked to terrorism. It's nothing to do with murdering the 3 kids. And I kind of guess they were known they were going to charge him for a while with additional charges. So the timing's stinking. We're getting played. And the thing that gets me is the amount of people that were getting crucified for suggesting, and they were right all along, that there was a link to terrorism with this guy. We were shown a photograph of him for about 5-6 years ago when he looked like an innocent wee kid. That's not the guy that was arrested. The guy that arrested was a lot more adult for a kick-off, had a big bunch of hair, looked completely different from the lovely wee angelic school photograph that we were all told about. It's mental. Right, now on to what happened today, right? Now, this is bonkers. I'm using the mirror here. It's splattered all over the place. But they're saying the Southport attack was not terror-related. Cops insist after the suspect was charged with terror offences, right? Police have not declared the Southport knife attack as a terror incident, despite cops finding Al-Qaeda training manual at the home of the man accused of the killings. Axel, I can't even say his name, Rada Kubana, 18, I thought it was 19, has been charged with 3 counts of murder and 10 counts of attempted murder in relation to Savage knife attack on the Taylor Swift themed dance party on and of children in July. BB King 6, Elsie Dot Stankham 7 and Alicia Aguirre 9 were killed, while 8 other children and 2 adults were left seriously injured. At a news conference in Merseyside Police Headquarters today, Tuesday, the force revealed a potentially deadly toxin and jihad training manual had been found in a search of Axel's home. Aye. Oh. Now, our Prime Minister has took to podiums to tell people not to be spreading vicious rumours, right? So it's all the media, not to spread vicious rumours about this kid. They weren't rumours, they were fact. He is a bit of an extremist. He has jihadi training manuals and poison called ricin, right? The teen is to be charged with 2 terror offences. Chief Constable of Merseyside Police Serena Kennedy said, however, the force-stressed counter-terrorism police have not declared the Southport attack as a terror incident. The Crown Prosecution Service has authorised Axel, aged 18, from Lancashire, to be charged with 2 further offences. Chief Constable Kennedy said Axel has already faces 3 charges of murder, 10 charges of attempted murder, and 1 charge of possession of a knife, all relating to the incident in Hart Street the 29th of July. The 2 further offences relate to evidence obtained by Merseyside Police during searches of Axel's home as part of a lengthy and complex investigation, which has been ongoing for the 29th of July. I'm kind of guessing, right, and I'm not a police criminologist or anything like that, but I'm kind of guessing they must have searched his house around about the 29th of July. Or maybe the next day. So they would have found these things in. But anybody that mentioned jihadi, Muslim terrorists, bad people. Turns out all of that was true all along. The additional charges are a production of biological toxin named ricin, contrary to Section 1 of the Biological Weapons Act in 1974, in possession of information, namely a PDF file entitled Military Studies in the Jihad Against the Tyrants, the Al-Qaeda Training Manual, likely to be useful to person committing or preparing to commit an act of terrorism contrary to Section 58 of the Terrorism Act 2000. They added there was no evidence of any of the victims of the Southport attack, emergency responders or wider community having been exposed to ricin. At this time, counter-terrorism policing has not declared the attack as a terror incident. It recognises that the new charges may lead to speculation. The matter for which Axel has been charged under the Terrorism Act does not require motive to be established. For the matter to be declared a terrorist incident, motivation would need to be established. Now, I kind of understand that, and I don't understand it both at the same time, because what they're saying is to be charged with murder and a terrorist act, the actual act of the murders and the attempted murders, they would need to attach motive, which was obviously connected to terrorism. So I understand that, right? What was the motive then? What was the motive for them to do this? If it wasn't terror, please educate me here. Jihadi manual, one of the most horrible toxins in the world to kill folk, slash these people to bits with a knife, and the fact it was Taylor Swift, who a lot of these jihadis don't quite like that sort of person, and it was a Taylor Swift thing, but you can't think that well, what is the motive? He just fancied going out and killing random little girls. Stop taking us for a ride. Honestly, stop taking the good British people for absolute idiots, right? Because it's as clear in the bloody nose in your face that is what our judiciary, our government, and our media think of us. And I ain't going to sit here and go, maybe they just missed the fact that they told us that the terror police were actually still working in the case when I put that video on the 1st of August. Yet nobody in the whole, anybody in the media, now, if they were only sitting in that room at the time for the media conference, which was for the biggest story in Britain at the time, it would have been full of journalists. And if you weren't a journalist that was sitting there at the time, I guarantee you watched it. Yet none of them managed to hear what I heard and go out and tell the good British public, there's a terror link here. The police have just told us. I didn't guess. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have some source within Greater Manchester Police. Sorry, Merseyside Police. I'm just a geezer that listens. And nobody in the British media did. Our government must have known this, because our government would have been all over this case, right? Bet your bottom dollar they knew about the ricin. They knew about the jihadi. And they told good British people they had no right to be concerned that this was anything to do with terror. How dare you? Stop treating the good British people like idiots, please. If you are part of the government, the judiciary, or the media, please stop it. And stop it now. Because the British people deserve better. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. Please put your comments below. Love to hear your views on this, because you can see I'm not that happy right now with this nonsense. But most importantly of all, unless you are part of a government telling lies and driving the narrative based on lies, unless you are the judiciary that want to feed us lies, unless you are part of the media backing both. Not you, but
everyone else. Have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.